guys, it is Boost HD here, and apologies for not making a video in quite some time now, but today I'm going to be doing almost like a YouTube hints video about the best pocket cameras on the market today. And there are a variety of different models that have come out, that have been discontinued, that people are just not buying anymore. But the three main ones that I'm going to be focusing on today are the JVC FM1, the Kodak Zi6 or Zi8, and I'm also going to take a look at the Flip Ultra HD. And these are three of possibly the best pocket camcorders that are on the market today. And I'm going to be explaining why I personally feel that they are good pocket camcorders and why they are so good if you really want to start getting into HD footage, and if you really want to use a good camcorder to get onto YouTube rather than using some standard old camera that's probably had for the past 8 years with just 240 resolution or something poor like that. But these are definitely bang for the buck kind of pocket camcorders. These aren't going to be all the way up there like costing thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars. No, these are going to be, I'm going to try and keep it under about £100 here in the UK anyway if you're watching from the UK, and I'm sure if you're watching in the US it's going to be under about $200. But so the very first one I'm going to be talking about is the Flip Ultra HD. And this was, well, you can kind of argue that Flip started the legacy of pocket HD camcorders, because there weren't that many out there. If you really wanted to film in HD, you was spending a hell of a lot of money trying to find a HD camcorder. But Flip really started the legacy for these small pocket HD camcorders, and the quality for that Flip actually was able to pull off was fantastic. So they filmed in 720p, the Flip Ultra HDs. They also came with a built-in USB adapter, which means you didn't have to go and find or buy an external USB lead, which personally I always end up losing my USB cable, so that was a very good feature. But the thing with the Flip Ultra HDs is that they came with onboard memory, and I think they came in about 2 GB or 4 GB. But don't quote me on that, but they were about 2 GB or 4 GB. You could not buy an external SD card for say 16 GB and insert that in, because you could not insert external storage. But again, you could also use the storage that actually came on the camcorder, and the price was mainly reduced because you can only use the built-in storage. These Flip Ultra HDs, they cannot take photographs, so they can't take stills, but why would you want to take stills when you've got absolutely perfect video for the Flip Ultra HD camcorder? They're pretty much easy for anyone to use. I mean, any amateur could turn on the camcorder and press the red button and away you're filming, so that wasn't anything to worry about. They're so easy to use. Just simply turn it on, press the red button and away you go. If you want to view your videos, press the triangle button on the corner and you can simply view the playback on that camcorder. And overall, I'd say it had a good audio quality, it had a good microphone. It was small, but it did the job, and watching the playback was pretty good at the time for watching a Flip Ultra HD. And even now, people still use Flip Ultra HDs, and this is why I recommend it if you're trying to get into YouTube with HD now. So the next pocket camcorder I'm going to be talking about is the Kodak Zi6, or which is the upgrade, which was the Zi8. They're pretty similar, and the main difference between the two is that one was able to do 1080p, while the other one was able to do 720p. But the good thing about the Kodak Zi8 and Zi6 was that they had component out. They didn't have HDMI out, but they had component out. And what this allowed you to do was plug a 3.5mm jack into the camcorder, and you had a component output which went to your HD component TV or monitor or whatever display you had. And if you was doing vlogs like this or IRLs, you could simply plug this into a monitor and you was able to view the footage back, which I think is pretty fantastic, because sometimes it can be really hard to judge where you're sitting in comparison with the camcorder and trying to align the whole video up, so you don't want to be too close, you don't want to be too far away. So that was a very good thing that Kodak actually did, and which is why I said this is quite a good camcorder as well. The build quality was very good. It also had the biggest LCD screen out of the three camcorders I'm going to be talking about, so that's also a good thing. Again, you couldn't take still images, but you could take 720p footage at 30 frames per second. It also had a slightly better microphone than the Flip did, and it was just, the image, it's hard to tell, but it was slightly crisper than what the Flip was able to produce. And the only disadvantage with the Kodak is that it came with standard batteries. It did come with, I think it was 4 or 3 rechargeable AA batteries, and it actually came with the unit. But when you're looking at camcorders, cameras, you always want to go with lithium ion. It's just a better battery. It's probably going to last you longer. You don't really want to be faffing about with batteries and standard batteries and putting in these throwaway batteries, because if you go and put in throwaway batteries in a camcorder and you leave it, they have a tendency for leaking and all that. So that's probably what pulled the Kodak Zi6 or Zi8 down, was simply due to that it didn't have good or a good rechargeable battery, but standard rechargeable battery, which aren't that good. And the final camcorder I'm going to be talking about is the JVC FM1, my personal favourite. I used this when I was doing YouTube videos on my old channel, including the beginning of this channel, and I thought this was a fantastic camcorder. There's a review of it. On my channel. I'll put that in the description so you can see that. So I'm just going to cover some of the basic features. So it did have HDMI out. It also had component AV out or composite out, which that's 3 good outputs right there. It also had an option for external storage, so you can simply put your SD card in up to 32 gigabytes, which again is very good. That's 32 gigabytes. That's a lot of storage right there. And on the JVC, you was also able to take 8 megapixel stills. Now 8 megapixels for an inexpensive pocket camcorder is relatively good, I have to say. And with the JVC, you had the ability to film at 1080p at 30 frames per second, 720p at 60 frames per second, 720p at 30 frames per second, and VGA, which is about 240, and 480p, which is pretty good. It's alright, not too bad, but you want to really step up on the HD side of things, since this is YouTube and everything's becoming HD now over time. But yeah, it did really well, and it was very well built, and the sound quality for the pocket camera that it was absolutely flawless. It had probably the best, even better than some camcorders, some actual good camcorders. This had a really good, a good microphone with good microphone pickup, and it also had a good speaker at the very base of the unit, which allowed you to play back your videos as well as hearing them without having to always plug them into your computer or laptop to view them there. And overall, the image in good light, and not so well in dark light, which it's only got a small sensor, so what would you expect? But in good light, this camcorder could have fooled so many people in thinking that it was a more expensive camera than it really was. But this camcorder was fantastic. The video quality was fantastic. The images were absolutely great. I still take photos on this pocket camcorder, and they still come out perfect. I even take video on this camcorder, even still on my JVC, and it still comes out with immaculate results. So anyway guys, this has been Boost HD here. This has been my personal account on these camcorders, and all the links will be left in the description of where you can get them from. I'll probably use Amazon or eBay, but these are probably the best camcorders out there, well, pocket camcorders that money can possibly buy, and the ones that are probably best suited for YouTube. So anyway guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now guys.